Welcome to this new episode of our Bible study, where we explore stories that teach us about faith, hope, and purpose. Today we dive into Genesis 33 to 40, chapters full of reconciliation, deep trials, and lessons that still resonate in our lives today. Each story reminds us that even when everything seems lost, there is a greater plan working behind the scenes, silent but sure. Join us and discover how these lessons can inspire you to trust and persevere, no matter the circumstances. Jacob walked cautiously, remembering years of separation, past mistakes and conflicts, feeling every memory tighten his muscles and hold his breath. The sun shone over the hills, illuminating the dusty path, while a warm breeze gently moved the trees, and his heart raced with anticipation and fear. Every step he took was filled with tension, as if the whole world were holding its breath, watching this moment that could change everything. Esau approached slowly, raising clouds of dust, and Jacob could not fully read his expression, wondering if reconciliation was truly possible. Fear gripped him, mixed with hope that his brother could forgive, as every muscle in his body stayed alert, ready for any reaction. In that moment, the air seemed to freeze, and all the years of distance and resentment hung in a single instant that could change everything. But when they finally met, something extraordinary happened. Tension transformed into forgiveness, and years of separation dissolved in a long, sincere embrace, full of emotion and relief. Both wept, and the weight of resentment vanished in that instant, while the sun illuminated their tear-streaked faces, showing them that love and forgiveness are stronger than any conflict. The air was filled with emotion, and Jacob realized that God had prepared this encounter long before he was born, guiding every step of his life toward this moment of reconciliation. This moment reminds us that broken relationships can heal, and sometimes patience, humility, and faith are essential to allow it to happen. Meanwhile, among Jacob's sons, Joseph stood out in a special way, a young man with a heart full of dreams and hope, someone whose vision went beyond his own understanding. He was the beloved son and a dreamer, seeing beyond the visible, believing in a future where he and his family would play an important role in the story God was writing. His dreams spoke not only of greatness but of responsibility, leadership, and how each family member would be part of a greater divine purpose. However, envy began to grow in his brothers' hearts, like a shadow that darkened the goodness they once shared and threatened to separate them from fraternal love. One day, envy turned into action. Joseph was sold as a slave and separated from everything he knew and loved, facing an uncertain future full of fear and sadness, far from home and family. Imagine the fear and confusion Joseph felt as he was taken far from home, his heart pounding, every step pulling him away from the familiar. His hands trembled, and a mix of sorrow and wonder filled his mind, wondering how a dream full of promises could turn into such a harsh and unknown reality. Sometimes life places us in unexpected places, where everything seems lost. But even there, a purpose is being silently shaped, invisible yet powerful. Joseph arrived in Egypt and began serving in the house of Potiphar, an influential and respected man, whose wide halls and busy courtyards made him feel small, but determined to remain upright. The heat of the Egyptian sun filtered through open roofs, while the grandeur of the house and the presence of servants and soldiers reminded him that he was in a completely different world from what he knew. Despite his situation, Joseph maintained integrity and dedication, showing faithfulness in every task, from the simplest to the most complex, with patience and humility. He gained everyone's trust and was soon put in charge of the entire household, supervising every detail carefully, while his heart still dreamed of a greater future. This teaches us that our actions matter, even when no one seems to be watching. Faithfulness in small things can open doors to great opportunities. Joseph's perseverance was quiet but powerful, and each act of responsibility and kindness planted seeds of blessing that would grow later. Yet Joseph's life was not without trials. He was falsely accused and imprisoned, facing a destiny that seemed cruel and disproportionate. Far from home and family, he faced a cold, dark, and lonely place, where solitude and uncertainty could crush even the strongest heart. There in prison, Joseph did not allow despair to defeat him. His faith remained firm, trusting that God was still at work. He helped those around him, listened to their stories and dreams, and interpreted them with wisdom and discernment, showing that even in adversity we can be a light for others. Each interpretation opened new doors and prepared the stage for his ultimate purpose, showing that moments of waiting and difficulty can be divine training. What seemed like an insurmountable obstacle was in reality a silent and powerful preparation, shaping his character and strengthening his spirit. Joseph demonstrated that patience, faithfulness, and hope can transform any circumstance, turning adversity into an opportunity for growth. Each trial strengthened his character and honed his understanding, preparing his heart for what was to come, reminding us that nothing in life happens without purpose. The dreams Joseph had in his youth began to come true step by step, revealing that every hardship had hidden meaning and that perseverance would eventually be rewarded. What others tried to use to stop him, God turned into momentum to move him toward his destiny, reminding us that even what seems unfair or painful can be part of a greater plan. Every obstacle became a stepping stone toward his purpose, and nothing in Joseph's life was wasted, even when he could not understand it fully at the time. His story reminds us that even in moments of uncertainty, we must trust and keep hope alive, knowing that God works behind the scenes. When everything seems lost, there is a greater plan silently at work, preparing every detail for the future. Each challenge becomes an opportunity for growth, teaching us patience, resilience, and inner strength. Every delay, every trial, every obstacle can be a step toward our purpose, even when it seems meaningless in the moment. Even moments that appear unfair or difficult have meaning and value, shaping our character and perspective. Joseph never lost faith, nor abandoned his dreams. His heart remained steadfast, clinging to hope and God's promises. He continued being faithful, patient, and hopeful, and that transformed his life in ways he could never have imagined, proving that faithfulness always brings reward. In our own lives, we also face circumstances that seem impossible to overcome, where every step feels heavy and every decision difficult. Conflicts, losses, long waits, and challenges that make us doubt ourselves and our destiny. Yet every experience can be part of something greater, a stage where our faith and character are strengthened. Each trial can teach lessons of patience, strength, and wisdom, and open new opportunities when we least expect them. Every difficulty can prepare our character for greater responsibilities and challenges, teaching us to trust the process. Nothing is lost when we walk with faith and perseverance. Everything transforms into something useful for our growth. Every right action, every faithful decision leaves an invisible mark that opens doors and future possibilities we could never imagine. Reconciliation, patience, faithfulness, and hope are powerful tools we can use to navigate life with purpose and meaning. Every obstacle can be an opportunity in disguise, a way to teach us something valuable and prepare us for our destiny. Every process can be part of our purpose, even when we cannot see how events connect at the time. Every trial can reveal a strength we did not know we had, and a hidden potential that only manifests in adversity. Joseph's life teaches us that even adversity can be transformed into victory, and that difficult moments do not define our destiny. Every chapter of the Bible shows us that God is always working, even in silence, moving pieces we cannot see. When everything seems lost, there is a greater plan in action, and every detail has deep meaning that will be revealed in due time. What today seems like a setback or an insurmountable obstacle may tomorrow become the push we need to move forward toward our purpose. Pain and difficulties can be the stage where our faith is strengthened, where we learn to trust beyond what we can see. Nothing we face is in vain. Everything has a hidden purpose that is only revealed when we look back and see the full path. Every Bible story inspires us to trust, to wait, and to persevere, reminding us that hope is never lost, even in the darkness. Every difficult experience can be the beginning of something greater and transformative, a lesson that prepares us to receive greater blessings. Every moment of waiting can prepare our heart to receive the right reward, even if we cannot see it yet. Joseph trusted and persevered, even when everything seemed dark and circumstances were beyond his control. He never allowed injustice to define him, nor did he let adversity extinguish his inner light. His faithfulness and patience opened the way to his destiny, showing that consistency and trust in God always produce results. This inspires us to do the same in our own lives, reminding us that patience and hope are essential in our journey. When we face trials, we can remember that each difficulty is part of a larger plan and every obstacle has a purpose. Every challenge is a stepping stone toward our purpose, and every decision made with integrity leaves a lasting impact. Every faithful decision affects the future, even when we cannot immediately see how it fits into the bigger picture. Every dream, even delayed or postponed, has value and purpose. Everything God has planted in our hearts will flourish in due time. Every obstacle can be a disguised teacher, teaching lessons only understood through experience and patience. Every moment of patience and faith is an investment in our destiny, and every trial overcome strengthens our character and confidence in God. When everything seems lost, God continues working in silence, moving every piece so that our purpose is fulfilled in His perfect timing. Every circumstance, every challenge, every difficulty prepares something greater, even when we cannot understand it at the moment. Every trial, every delay, every obstacle carries deep meaning that will be revealed in time, showing God's hand guiding our lives. Nothing is lost. Everything transforms. And every experience, whether good or difficult, contributes to our growth and learning. Everything is being prepared, each detail carefully, so that we may fulfill the purpose for which we were created. Every story, every character, every trial reminds us that there is a greater plan in action, and our lives are not the result of chance. Even when we feel alone, there is a divine plan guiding our steps towards something greater and meaningful. Every challenge is an opportunity for learning and strength, shaping our character and preparing us for future responsibilities. Every decision made with faith and patience becomes a step toward fulfilling our destiny, even if we do not see it immediately. When everything seems lost, God is preparing your purpose, working behind the scenes so that everything fits perfectly. Don't forget to watch the full video on our YouTube channel, Hello Bible in Action, where each story comes alive and teaches lessons for our own lives. Continue this journey and discover how every trial can be the beginning of something much greater, something that will deeply transform your life. Reflect on your own life and recognize the moments where God has worked in silence, preparing your path and guiding every step. Every difficulty, every weight, and every trial can be preparation for something extraordinary, something that will bear fruit at the right time. Keep faith even when you do not understand the path. Trust that every step has a purpose and every experience contributes to your growth. Trust that every detail, every situation, and every person who crosses your path has a role in the plan God has for you. Patience and faithfulness are seeds that produce great fruits, and every act of integrity and kindness will be rewarded. Nothing you face is in vain. Everything contributes to your growth, your learning, and the fulfillment of your destiny. Always remember, when everything seems lost, God is preparing your purpose, and your story is still being written, greater and more beautiful than you could ever imagine. If this video has inspired you and you want to keep growing in your faith and purpose, don't forget to follow us and turn on notifications. In the upcoming videos, we'll explore more Bible stories that can change your life. Follow us and join us on this journey of learning and hope.